We are going to see a very interesting trading book which is a must read for all the traders. The book name is 3 Skills of Top Trading. This book is by Hank Pruden. Hank Pruden is currently dead. He is like late Hank Pruden. He was professor in Golden Gate University. He has a PhD in marketing and he has been teaching markets for more than 2 decades, and he was president of Technical Security Analyst Association of San Francisco. He was also vice president of the International Federation of Technical Analysts. He was editor in Market Technical Association Journal, and he had a lot of feathers in his hat, and he had written a very brilliant book. His major style, that's basically style of teaching, trading and investing, was technical analysis. In technical analysis, he used to concentrate on Wyckoff and Elliott a lot. So in this book, he talks about 3 top skills of trading. That's like first skill which he talks about is the skill of system building and behavioral finance, and then comes the next thing. Next thing is like pattern recognition and discretionary trading, and third is mental state management. So when it comes to the first skill, that's basically system building and behavioral finance, there are like 3 topics. Each topic is a separate chapter. The first topic is again system building for 3 skills of top trading. He interlinks all the concepts. That's basically what is a requirement for a trader, and he tries to interlink this all with it. Then the next thing is he talks about behavioral finance. A very good trader understands behavioral finance a lot. That's basically traders, we know it like the game of trading is designed on how we behave, how the news, that's basically how news is feeded to a normal man, and how that is used to the advantage of the operator of the stock. That is explored in this. And the third part is life cycle model of a crowd behavior. Here Professor Hank Pruden shows a lot of charts, a different kind of technology adaptation life cycle model and many other models, which is a very interesting thing, and it gives a lot of exposure. So this first thing was like initially when I was reading it was like way too much overwhelming for me. What I will do is I will come from the I will go in a random order. I will start from chapter 10 because that's then we will see other chapters which are easily digestible. Then we will come to rest all. Then comes the second skill. The second skill is very important, and most of the traders think that this is the only skill which is very much required. That's basically pattern recognition and discretionary trading. So basically discretionary trading, about this Hank Pruden speaks in the first chapter itself. He speaks about system trading and discretionary trading and everything in between, and he shows it with a very good model, graphs, schematics and lot more. In this he completely explores Wyckoff model in detail. That's basically in the first chapter he talks about the Wyckoff, the man, his method, the mistake he calls it. That's what he does in first chapter. In second chapter he talks about charting techniques, point and figure charts and bar chart, and he then shows us how to coordinate them both together. Then he talks about all the Wyckoff's accumulation and distribution schematics, then all the test, 9-point test, everything. And at the 4th chapter in this skill, that is basically he talks about the anatomy of a trading range or a trade, complete anatomy of a trade. So this becomes very essential. We will also look at Wyckoff's method in a different video in detail. That's basically we will review other books, other literatures of Wyckoff also in detail, chapter by chapter. But this plays a very significant role because this is coming from a man who had been teaching the same for 20 years to lot of investment managers, to lot of fund managers, and a lot other traders, professional traders around the world. Then comes the third skill. The third skill is mental state management. So reading chart is just half the battle. Knowing about markets, everything is like just a part of it. managing ourselves, having our mental state management is the essence of a very good trader. So in this again, there is like 3 chapters which Hank had given. That's basically the first is trader's psychology and mental discipline. So here he explores about trader's psychology in detail. He speaks about how a traders think, how institutions plan it. So basically when we are looking at the behavioral finance, and when we start connecting the dots with it, it makes a lot sense. Here he actually even like collaborates with Van Tharp, and he had even made some 10-point checklist for traders, which would be very useful, which we would be looking for. Then comes the second chapter. Here he talks about the composite man. In this, the composite man, what he does is he talks about how we should think like a operator and how we should be playing the game. So basically Hank himself have developed a model called action sequence model, and he makes us introduced to that concept of action sequence model and how we should be playing the game very naturally. That's basically in first chapter he talks about left brain, right brain concepts, and how right brain, that's basically how right brain enabled people can make a lot of trading decisions. So he exactly tries to teach us that technique using this in this particular chapter. That's like the composite man chapter. With this you can actually, without even understanding what volumes is, but by just looking at the charts you can actually play like how a composite man would be playing, just seeing it in waves and playing it naturally. Then comes the last chapter is putting it all together. That's basically, he calls it 10 principles for a trader to live by. And here he talks about 10 principles which are essence for every traders. That's basically we need to follow it. That should be our principles. And basically in the 10th principle, he also introduces us to another real-time big fund manager and trader, with whom who shares a lot of traits which he had taken. So that would be a completely different chapter which we would be different video which we would be exploring. So that's all. This is a very intelligent book. If you are trading, you should read this book. This is a gem of a book.